Welcome to the second episode of the Road Captain series. And in this episode, we're going to cover how to plan a ride. This is specifically for you guys as new road captains, but I'm going to walk you through how I plan a ride. The first step that I always do in planning any ride, identify what's the purpose of that ride. So when I say we identify the purpose, it's in this case that I'm planning, this is going to be a tour, dad and daughter annual. So this is multiple day trip, multiple destinations, multiple people coming with us. So there's a lot of logistics involved in the planning of this. There's hotels, stayovers, how many miles per day are we going to put down, how many hours are we on the seat, that kind of type thing. So for you new road captains, I would suggest for your first ride, I would designate the purpose of the ride as a learning opportunity for you. Agenda. Step 2 is identifying what's the destination for your ride. So for you new road captains, I would make the destination something fairly local, something that ice cream shop, a restaurant, a landmark. Right, so you're going to have your routing, and you're going to go from somewhere to somewhere, and then come back. Basically, build yourself a loop. So that's step 2, destination. Steps 3 and 4 are kind of interchangeable when it comes down to it. What's the pace of the ride going to be? Is this going to be a nice leisurely cruise, or are you going to be, fast and furious all the way through? That the pace is a lot of times determined by who's coming with you, right? So that's what I says. Those two can kind of go hand in hand. The next step after that is we're going to start picking our roads. So something for you guys that are new to leading a ride, you need to have the ability to look back into your mirrors to see what's going on. So I would suggest for your first few rides that you lead, don't go super technical hard roads. You can put lots of fun stuff in there, but I would suggest that you keep it fairly tame for yourself, because if you have to be 100% focused looking forward, you're not going to have the opportunity, obviously, to look back to see what's going on in your pack. Once you've picked your roads and you've built your route, I will typically, if I can, right, something fairly local, go ride the route that you built. And start analyzing it. What's the road conditions like? If you're coming to an intersection and you have to make a turn, are you going to be able to get all the bikes through? Is it an advanced turn somewhere that you're going to make, but you can only get 2 bikes through? Where are you going to pull over to wait for everybody else? So go ride that route. And I always typically come up with an itinerary for the ride. Know where you need to be. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have it down to the minute. But what that means is if you are going somewhere, the second the helmets come off, you're losing time. So if you got a couple smokers in the group, let's say, you need to account for smoke time for them. If you want to make a stop for a picture somewhere, you need to account for that time, right? That's where the itinerary comes into it, because the people that are coming on that ride, they also have other obligations. So if you say the ride is going to be 3 hours, then it needs to be 3 hours, not 6, because people will just leave. So there's a couple apps you can use to do your planning. I do a lot of my planning with Kalimoto. I've used it for a very long time. It's easy for me. Kalimoto does have its limitations. One of them is trip size. Kalimoto is a wonderful app for a lot of things, but once your trip gets over 3,000 kilometers, it can't do it. That's your max limit, is 3,000. On a 5-day trip, it's not hard for me to break that 3,000 mark. Not at all. Even on a 4-day, I can break that. So that's where I'll turn to other apps to kind of come into play. I use CAA TripTik a fair bit. It lets me really range out the route, and then I can do the detail work with Kalimoto and just do it in different legs or different sections, for example. This just gives you a glimpse of how I plan a route. My last trip, I had 12 different versions of the same route planned out. And it was probably about 2 days before I left, I made my final itinerary as to where I was going and how I was getting there. The more effort and time you put into planning your ride, the better the outcome you're going to get. Can you wing it? Yeah, sure. You can wing stuff. I'm not going to say you can't. I'm not a fan of winging it on a group ride, especially multi-day. I'm not a fan of doing that. Because people need to know roughly what we're doing every day. Yeah, you're going to account for breakdowns. Somebody's not feeling well, this and that. You can adjust stuff as you go. But I like to have a goal for the end of each day of where I need to be, because it's not hard to overrun it. Because, like it says, once the helmets come off, time goes out the window. And until you're on a big ride, doing that lead rider position, once you start doing it on a big ride, you're going to understand this one adage that I have. It's like herding cats. It really is. So I hope this helps you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you got any questions, put them in the comments below. All right. Have yourselves a wonderful day. See you back for episode 3, which is how we're going to actually stage a ride. Talk to you soon.